Welcome, and in this video, we're going to build a note-taking application in Python using all the skills that we've learned up to this point. So it will be just a simple and useful project. Of course, we're going to cover how to create a menu, how to add, view, and delete notes, and we're also going to be saving notes to our file. Now, considering some of the projects that we've built up to this point, this is going to be the first project where we're saving we're saving our data into files because we've been using just lists and objects up to this point. So this is going to be pretty exciting. Now, to get us started, the basic thing to start with is how to set up our project. So to set up the project, I'd like you to do three things. First, create a folder, and I'd like you to call the folder note taking app. So you can call it note underscore taking underscore app. I already have mine created right here. Then create two files. We're going to need an app.py file where we're going to write the main logic of our application. And we're also going to create a notes.txt file. And this is where we're going to be storing our notes basically. So once you've set up everything up to this point, we can simply start writing our code. And to get us started, we're going to start with in the app.py file. And we're going to just do a basic function that is going to just welcome us as we are starting out. Again, this is just for fun at this point. So we're going to create a function, main function, and in this main function, it's going to print a message that says, "Welcome to the note taking app." So welcome to the I should be using a capital N here. Welcome to the note taking app, and we're going to just have an if main here. So we'll do this again. This is to help us with everything in the formatting, so that when you call the function, everything works perfectly. Then we'll call the main function here. Simple as that. So once we do this, let me just confirm that everything. This should be name, not main. So underscore name like that, and okay, it should do okay, we are comparing these two, so double equal sign. Perfect. Now we simply just run our application here. I'll run python 3 app.py, and you can see it tells us here, welcome to the note taking app. And with this, we're good. So once you've done this, we can now start writing the core functions of our application. And the core functions are quite a few of them, but we're going to start with a simple function for adding a note. So to add a note, we're going to create a function, and we're going to just call it add underscore note. And in this function, we need to get the note from our user. So this is just using the input function as usual. We're going to ask a user to enter a note. So just say enter a note. Once we get the note from the user, then we need to save this note. Remember, we're saving this notes to the notes.txt file. So in this case, we've seen how we can be able to read files up to this point. And in this case, we're going to use with open. And also, if you're having challenges, you haven't looked at files, simply refer to the previous video on files. So we have notes.txt file, and we're going to open this in append mode. So append mode is because we are basically appending the note that we're getting from our user to their file. So we're just updating the file. We're not creating a new file or rewriting the entire file. So we'll open this as file, and then we're going to write. So in this case, we can just do simple file dot write, should be a dot here. So we'll just say file dot write, and in this file we're writing the note. So we'll just say note. Then we're going to add a simple new line. We just add a new line again for formatting purposes. Should be a backslash here. Oh, okay, what am I doing? Yeah. So you have a backslash n for that. So once we write to this file, we can print a message to the console to just tell us that the note has been added. So just say not added successfully. So in this case, we've been able to create, at this point we've created a function to add a note, and we're using again with open to append so that you can add this to a file. Once you've added a note, then you can go ahead and view the notes and do everything else. So now what I want us to do just quickly is write some of the other functions, and then we'll just add pass so that we can just call all of them in the main function. Then we'll just be testing everything as we go. So the other function that we need is for viewing nodes. So this should be just view underscore nodes. And for the view nodes function, again, we'll just use pass for now. We'll just use pass for now so that we're able to just come and write the logic later. We also need to be able to delete our node. So just say delete node, and we'll also add a pass for this. Okay, like that, pass for this one. What have I done here? I'm a do. So okay, this is the just autocomplete that is messing up all this. Okay, so we have for adding a node. Now the reason I'm doing this, I want us to focus on the main menu logic, so that we just can be able to test each of the functions as we create them. So in the main file here, rather than the main function, we have welcome, we have this entire message. So you can still just leave it there or just get rid of it. But we're going to add a while loop here. So while true, then we're going to add a menu for the user. So you can print there, and just because I don't want to just have multiple print statements, I'm going to use multi-line comments here. Rather, not multi-line comments, but we're going to use a multi-line multi-line string, not comment. So I'll just have something like this. They'll say not checking up, not checking up. Okay, needs to, okay, good. So not checking up, then we'll get everything else. Yeah, it should be while true. Okay, I'm making so many errors today, but we'll get this done nonetheless. So once we have that message, then we can have just the first node. The other option one is going to be for a user to add node. Add okay. Add node. So once you've added node, the second one, I'm really struggling with that complete here, but let's just continue. The next one is view view nodes. The third option is going to be to delete the nodes. So delete nodes, and the fourth option is for the user to just exit. So should be exit. Okay, again, I noticed that another mistake I made here. This should be while. I don't know why I used it on R, but okay, we're good to go now. So now that we have the print, then we can all, of course, get an input from our user for a user to choose an option here, whether it's option 1, 2, 3, considering or rather depending on the kind of operation they want to carry out. So we'll create a choice here, and we'll use an input function. We'll get an input from our user. So we'll ask our user to choose an option. Then from the option that the user chooses, we'll use simple if statements. Again, we've done this a couple of times in the previous project, so it should be easy to just pick up on what you're doing here. So on the first choice, we're going to call the add underscore node function, because the user wants to add a node. Then if the user chooses 2, so elif choice is going to be 2. If that's what the user goes for, then that means that they want to view the nodes. So in this case, we call the view nodes function. Then we have another one where in case a user chooses goes for option 3, if a user goes for option 3, that means that they want to delete the nodes. So in this case, we call the delete it's a delete underscore node function. And the last option that we have here is option 4, when a user wants to exit. So we'll have elif the choice is the user goes for option 4. That means they want to exit, and to exit, all we need to do is just break out of the loop. But just to be nice, we'll just print a statement here that says goodbye. Then after this, we can just break out of the loop. So we use the break keyword. Again, we did a video on the break and continue keyword, so just refer back on this playlist, you'll find it there. And finally, we'll have an else. So in case a user makes a choice that is not among the 4 choices, that means they're making an invalid choice. So we'll print a statement to tell them that they've made an invalid choice, but because they're still within the while loop, they can try again. So we'll just say invalid choice. Then you tell them, please try again, just to be nice again here. So in this case, we have this already set. So this loop is going to keep showing a menu until the user chooses to exit. That's the beauty of what you've already done here. Now let's just try to run our code quickly. So I'll just say python 3 app.py. Okay, it should be python 3. Oh man, I'm making really too many errors today, but it's one of those days. So let me expand this here. You see, welcome to the note taking app. Then we have the options 1, 2, 3. So let's say I want to add a note, and I'd like you to, we're going to check and see whether the notes get added to the notes.txt file. Then it tells me enter a note. So let's say I want to add a note like, let's say send, let's say send the documents to the contractors, contractors, like that. So once you do that, you see already it tells us here note was added successfully, just as we formatted in our messages there. So if you go to the notes.txt file, you notice that that note has already been added here, which is what we are looking for. So now we know that we are able to rather write to our file and be able to do it successfully. I'll just exit for now. Then we can keep on writing the other functions or implementing the other functions. Now the other function is how to view the nodes. So once you've written the nodes, and then to view the nodes, automatically what you need to do is using the knowledge that you've done on file handling, you need to read from the file. So to do that, we'll go ahead and I want us to actually just try something nice, something a bit different here. We're still going to read from the file, but because of error handling purposes, so we need to I want us to try and use the try and accept blocks that we looked at. So in the try block, that's where we're going to try and read from the file or view the notes. Then the accept block is when we tell the user that maybe the file is not found. In case they try to read from a file and the file is not there, probably because they haven't created the file or something of the sort. So in that case, we're going to use our try and catch. So inside our try block, this is where we're going to open the file. So with open, and we're going to open the file. In this case, we'll open the file in read mode, of course, so that I can read from it. So we'll open the file in read mode, and we use the file.read line. So this is one of the methods that comes with it. So we'll store this in the variable called notes, but I'll just say file dot read lines. So this is going to help us read the line. Then once you're done from here, we can just check now. If not, this means that if we found the notes if there are some notes in the file, then we can show the user their notes. So I'll tell them here, this again, a print statement to be nice here. We'll tell the user that these are your notes. This all I want to make it lowercase. So we'll just call it your notes, simple as that. And then we write a simple for loop. So we can say for index and not in, and in this case, we're going to use the enumerate function. So in enumerate, so we'll just use this enumerate function. And in the enumerate function, we're going to pass in the notes, and then we're going to pass in the second argument is going to be 1. And in this case, what the enumerate function does is that it goes through the nodes. So it's ideally sort of still looping through the nodes. So once we do that, we can be able to print each of the nodes from the specific line that the nodes are. So in this case, we'll just say, we use an f string just for formatting here, and we'll have the index based on the specific line where the note was. We'll say this is the index, then we'll give the user their notes. So in this case, we'll just say not, because they're multiple and we're looping through them. I think this makes sense here. So just say not. Then because we also want to get rid of any extra white spaces, any new lines that might be added that are empty, we use the dot strip method to get rid of that. So once you've done this, then you can add an else block. In this else block is where we tell the user that their notes were not found. So I'll tell the user here, maybe no notes found. No notes found. Simple as that. Then we can, because we're using the try and except block, so we need to add our exception here. So we'll say except, and for exception, for one of the exceptions that you're going to find is the file not found exception. So file not found file not found error. That's one of the exceptions they're going to find. So in this case, this is again just it's self-explanatory here. It means that the file was not found that the user was trying to look for. So we'll just say here something like no notes file, no notes file found. Then we tell the user to maybe start by adding a note like that. So if you do this, I'll just go over it once again what you've done. We're using the trend except block just for error handling here. And error handling is also referred to as defensive programming. Anyway, so we are opening our file, the notes.txt file in read mode. Using read lines, we are reading the file, rather the notes in the file. Then, if we find the notes, in this case, if there are notes that have been added, we're going to print the notes to the user. But because there are so many of these notes, we need to iterate through them so we can get each of the notes individually. So that is what we're doing with the for loop here. Then we print them to the user. We're using the dot strip here to get rid of any extra lines or any extra white spaces that might be added in the file. Then we just print them out quickly. Now let's try to go again. In this case, let's run our code. So python 3 app.py. Then let's say we just want to view the notes. We only have one note right now, but once we do that, if you come here, you'll notice that we get the notes, and this is what it does. And for now, it is because we used the for loop and the enumerate there. It is going through the entire line that we have is being read as each word is being read, or each letter, not each word. Each letter is being read as a new word, not new word, yeah, as a new statement. I hope that makes sense. That's why we're getting all these lines that you can see here, which is a bug that we need to solve. But before we get into solving that, let's go ahead and finish deleting the notes, and then we can fix that error. So to delete the nodes, it is the same logic that we've basically applied. So we need to first of all view the nodes so that we can know which specific nodes that we want to delete. So in this case, we call the view nodes function. Then using try and catch in this case as well, we're going to first of all get the node number, because as you can see, we've already given the nodes the numbers from what you've done here in view nodes. You see the index and everything. So we're going to get the node number. So not underscore number, and we're going to ask the user to input the specific node number for the node that they want to delete. And to get the node number, just say here enter the node number to delete. Once the user has given us this node number, then we can go ahead and read through open the file. So with open, we're going to still open the notes.txt file, and we're going to be opening this in read mode. So this is more of a repetition of what you've done from before. So once you open this, we can go ahead and read through it as well. So the file dot should be a dot here, file dot read lines. And once we read through that, we can now try to compare the note numbers, so that we get the exact note number for what the user wants to delete. So if we say here, if let's say if 0, this is the note number. So if the note number is greater than 0, so that we don't get 0 or negative, because again it's going to start with 1, of course. So if the note number is greater than 0 and also less than the length of, I want to add a space here just for formatting, then the length of all the nodes that we have there, if this is the case, then that means we can be able to delete, because it means we have a valid node number. So we're going to, so just say here, I'll create a variable and call it removed nodes, and here we'll get the nodes, and we use the dot pop method. So nodes dot pop, and here we specify the node number, which be not underscore number, not number, like that. So once you do this, we can go ahead and try to open the file again. So this is the case. This is what we can do in this case. Once we've removed the nodes, let me just write so that it will make more sense once I've done that. We'll just say with open, then we'll open again the notes. I know there's some repetition here, but the notes.txt file. But now in this case, instead of opening it in read mode, we're going to open it in write mode. And we're going to open again as file. Then once we've opened it, we're going to use the write lines to write into the file. So we'll just say file dot. So in this case, just say file dot write lines, file dot write lines, and we're writing the notes. Then once you've done that, we'll go ahead and print a statement to the user, and this statement is going to tell the user what you have deleted. So just say deleted. Then in this case, of course, we auto deleted, we added it to the removed notes. So removed notes dot strip. Again, we already know what what strip does. So in this case, what you're doing is we're first of all getting the note number. Then we're reading through the file so that we can get to see what was removed. Then once you've removed it, rather once you found what was removed, we try to compare the note numbers to make sure that they match exactly with what you wanted to. Then once you've done that, we can be able to remove the note number. Then we can open the file and just write into the file again, and then we can just show the user what they have deleted. Then we'll have an else block. This else block, here's where we're going to just tell the user that they've just made an invalid note number. So I'll just say invalid note number. So we'll also just add an exception here, of course. So we'll just say except. For the exception, the first exception we expect here is a value error. So value error exception, and this is in case a user enters a value that wasn't what, or rather what wasn't what they're supposed to, which is invalid in this case. So in this case, just tell a user to please enter a valid number. Okay, I need to just format this correctly. Okay, that's good. Then we'll also need, in this case, again, because we're reading through a file, there's a possibility of not reading from a file. So we'll add another exception here, just say except, then this is going to be the same as before. So this will be file not found error. And in this case, again, we just print a statement to tell the user that there are no notes found. Okay, again, I just need to format this correctly and move it right there. Awesome. So now we're able to delete the note. So just using with what we have right now, before we just fix our bug, I'm going to try and delete notes. So I'll go to 3, delete notes. As you can see, it shows me all the notes that I have. So let's say, for example, I want to get rid of 39. Then I know 39 is empty, but let's just go with that. So I type in 39 and I do that. And then if I try to view the notes right now again, I'll go with 2 view notes. We look at it, we have 39 is still there. Did I save the notes here? Okay, let's see where the error is. So we have everything here written out. And okay, I see where the mistake is. So in this case, let's try not to write to the file for now, because in this case, what I'm doing is I'm deleting and writing to the file at the same time. So I'm going to just exit and run this again. So it's clear and run. Now I want to delete the notes. So I'll go with 3 for delete. Then I'll select 39. Again, I'm doing 39 because it's just an empty line. Then I try to view again. So view notes. 39 still seems to be there. Let's try 38. So 3. Then let's do 38. And we want to view again. Then we see 38 is still here. Okay, there's something that is not making sense. Let's just exit this and try to just look at it again, look at our code. So we're viewing the notes, of course, then we're getting the note number from the user. As you come here, we're opening the file in read mode, which is good. We're trying to compare the note numbers just to make sure that the note number is within the range that it is expected to be. Then if it is, we'll go ahead and use that note number. So notes.pop, we are popping out the specific note that we found. So in this case, note number, we are getting the removed notes. Then we're trying to open here and we're stripping them off. Okay, let's go to the main here using delete not. Yep, that's what we're doing here. Okay, so let's try to just figure out what the error might be in this case. So just going through this, I think, okay, first of all, because this was just correct from to begin with, because this is the one that writes the updated version of the notes, so that is just okay right there. But I think, okay, this should be, this is read lines, which is okay there. The other one that I should be worried about in this case is, let's see how we view our notes. This could actually be the problem. Oh, okay, I see. So here in view notes, we're using read line instead of read lines. And the reason why this is a problem here, when you use read line, this is going to read only the first line of the file. So this is why we're also having the same issue whereby it is splitting out the entire line, one line into multiple, or rather assuming these are like multiple nodes. So this is the one that actually even causes the bug that we have. But if we use read lines, this is going to read all the lines that we have into our list. So okay, I think we've been able to just fix our like that. Again, these errors do happen. You just make these mistakes more and more, and then you figure out how to solve them. So let's run our code again. Then in this case, let's try to delete the notes again. So you can see now it just tells us our notes is just the one note that we have in our file. So let's go with one to try to delete that. Then it says here deleted, send the documents to the okay, so this is just a statement that I added. Then if we try to view our notes again, you see that there are no notes found, right? So, and if you go to our file here manually, you will see that our file is empty again. So we can try to add more notes. So I can add a note. Let's say this is just a state hi. Then I add another note that says let's say good morning. And then say another note that says we need to talk. Then let's try to view our notes. So we can just view them here first. You can see we have the notes 1, 2, 3 here. And if you go to our file, you will see that the notes have also been added. And now you can try and delete the notes if you wanted to. If you wanted to view the notes, let's try to delete a note like hi. So we'll delete one. So I'll just go with one here. And if I try to view again with two, you see now we only have two notes, good morning and we need to talk. Then you can just exit from the program. So, and yeah, that's basically how you build a simple note taking app. And the good thing is that now it is storing everything into the files here, which means it's okay. We don't have to worry about creating more notes every time we run our code like we were struggling with before. So I'd like you to just go over this again to see what you've done. Try to understand. In case there's something that does not make sense, do let me know in the comments below. I'm going to go through the comments at some point to just try and answer some of the questions that you might have. The other thing that you can try to do is, just try to extend it however you can, right? So this has a possibility of being a complex program that you can write. So find ways that you can try to extend. For example, you can add a feature like how to edit the note. So you can write a function for that. We don't have that for now. You can also add a feature for searching. So you can search for a note by, just a specific keyword, which is also something really nice that you can implement into this program. You can also improve like some formatting, try to add something like timestamps so that you can use the time module so you can be able to get the timestamp for every the specific moment that someone tries to add a note. So there's sort of those like really cool features that you can add to this application. But congratulations on building your first note taking app. Now go and just go over it again, then try to just pause the video, try to see if you can be able to build a similar version or still the same on your own. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below on what feature you'd like to add to this application next. Also, for you to access the source code, check the description below for the source code and for this challenge. And we also have a Discord server that you can go to and interact with your fellow learners. Cheers.